It's back. Culture is returning to Britain. It's time for Travesty 5. So, I was fortunate enough to get some tickets to go see Dan Howell live in his new world tour, We're All Doomed. And instead of being joined by Ben this time, my friend Mini Candy, who you may know from being around this channel here and there, decided to come along with me too. Now, we actually had a pretty decent travel plan. There was no trains into the middle of nowhere this time. It was a train into Manchester. Straight one there, straight one back for a relatively low enough price. Now, I did decide to prep in case, my phone decided to play funny, so I took a massive rucksack, which solely housed my tickets, £15 in cash, and a portable charger. So, as we're cruising on the train, I have a interesting realisation, and I double check, because I realise we're going to Manchester of all places, which has a history, as some of you may know, and I double check the venue's prohibited items, and that's where I read the clause saying that large rucksacks are not allowed in the building, and that anyone wearing one will be refused entry. The issue is that this is my sister's school bag, and I also have a bunch of stuff I kind of need in there, because I have practically no pockets on the jeans I'm wearing in this recording. So we start looking and researching on the train, arguably a bit more frantically than we reasonably should have, into trying to find an app which would let me stash my bag somewhere. We go through a bunch of them. We need to find one that is on the optimal route back to the train station, because the train leaves at 5 minutes past 11 and the website is advertising the show of ending at 10:30. So we don't have time. It's like a 15-minute walk back as is, and if we have to faff around waiting for a queue to go down, getting a bag and diverting, it ain't gonna be good. But we eventually managed to find an app which has a location at a Premier Inn next door to the building. And you need photo ID, which I don't have. Luckily, again, Mini Candy, being the absolute chad they are, was able to provide it to them. And once our train pulled in, we walked directly to a McDonald's. And, well, I, at least, stress ate my woes away and played McDonald's Monopoly, just, only slightly freaking out. And yeah, we walked to the Premier Inn. The people were super nice about it. Shout out to a Manchester Premier Inn near the Bridgewater Hall. You guys are, thank you, you saved my sister's school bag. But yeah, we handed it in there, we got a cool luggage tag and stuff, and it was pretty good. So we go in, a little bit preemptively, and we kind of have a look around. I had a debate buying merch, but no, we just decided to get into a position where we were going to be going in, asked around, because my ticket didn't actually list which door we were going in through. And yeah, we did realise, kind of, a fact we already knew, but me and Mini Candy weren't sitting together. We both panic booked, meaning we were on opposite sides of the same stand, but, sure. We both had good enough seats, it was just next to people we didn't know. But yeah, so we hang around for a while, and eventually the doors open and the pre-show playlist starts, and it is exactly what you would expect from a Dan Howell playlist, plus CBAT, which I was belligerently unaware of until I researched it in the crowd and started laughing like the Joker, which, there were a few head turns there, honestly, and the stage was cool. I had a good seat and the show was good. I'm not going to spoil it, but it was wholesome, it was funny, it was laughing, and there was probably more than enough jokes at the Conservative Party's expenses, which I can honestly get down with. But yeah, the show ended ahead of schedule. It was actually quite a nice sigh of relief. Like I said, we had an amazing time. I had some ice cream in the intermission. It was a good, genuinely good time. We get out, we pick up my bag, and we debate going into the McDonald's, which now has a stupidly long line. And we decide against it and go to the train station, where the only shop open sells reheated-ish pizza that's really small. It's like a slice and a half in a square for £4.90 each. And a cave because I'm a bit hungry, and I eat it miserably in a little train station shelter. And yeah, it was also quite aesthetic. It was made out of wood, and it was raining, and it was you'll see some shots of that now. It was raining when we came out, and it was really nice. But I'm pretty sure there was also a rat in the shelter with us, so it's you win some, you lose some, but at least you were dry and mildly warm. But yeah, the train eventually arrived, we got on, and things were good. It was taking a little while longer to arrive. I believe it was a late night train, so they kind of wanted to take it slow as they weren't in such a rush. And kind of being tired out from a full day of travelling and also screaming and laughing my head off for 2 hours straight, I fell asleep, as did Mini Candy, which caused us to miss our stop and end up at the end of the line. Now, most people, and I do genuinely mean most people, would think, oh, okay, just at the end of the line, get the train back. We couldn't. The train we were getting back, and the reason why we were kind of so pressed about where we were going to be able to store this bag, was because that was the last train back for the night. There were no more trains leaving where we ended up, which was Blackpool. Yeah, if you're British, you know exactly where this is going. We were terrified, okay? I've been to Blackpool before. Minnie Candy has been to Blackpool before. Blackpool isn't known for being exactly the nicest place on earth, and I've had the disprivilege of being there late night before and having a less than pleasant experience. Essentially, we were in an acute amount of danger. Not only that, it was a Sunday night, which means none of the responsible people were out drinking, but people were out drinking nonetheless. So we start walking. We decide to take the side streets because I know the layout roughly enough. We avoid all the bars, we go down some quiet things, and we think, okay, if we make a beeline to the McDonald's, we can get to a bus stop which will take us further along to another bus stop which will take us to a bus station which can get us back home. Because, yes, we did need to spend that much money because we fucked up. So, we're walking, and we get to a point. And I'm just going to play this clip because it is genuinely perhaps the worst thing I have captured on camera.
Okay, so we have two options. The optimal route where we go down the boring street, or the funky route, which takes longer and keeps us in Blackpool longer, but there's cool lights overhead.
Now, you may not have caught that, but about 10 seconds after that clip ended, somebody broke into a store down the street we were going to go down. I kid you not. So we walk down the other street, which is cool, funky, it's got some overhead lights, and we just kind of aggressively power walk into the McDonald's, sit down, and I start chuffing on a Twix McFlurry and one like 6 nuggets. So, you know, it's fine, everything's fine, we're just biding our time for the bus to arrive, which, mind you, is like at 1:30, maybe a little later. And we're fine, we're just sitting there, I'm eating it as slow as possible so we don't get kicked out preemptively by the staff. And that's when some guy comes in off the street and asks me to buy him a drink. Which I'm not down for, okay? I'm wary when people ask me for stuff, so I basically told this guy, politely enough, sorry, I don't have any money right now. As I'm scoffing down a Twix McFlurry, he can clearly see that I'm bullshitting and storms out the store really annoyed, and then proceeds to slink around outside while I'm giving him the side eye. But eventually our bus comes and we have to leave the sanctity of McDonald's, and it's a few minutes walk, and yeah, we get there, and it's just anxious. It's a bit more open, it's on the promenade where the illuminations are, and we're just waiting, hoping and praying, because we couldn't get an Uber, which was cheap, and taxis in Blackpool are super expensive because it's a tourist destination, so we needed to get this bus. If this bus was too late, we wouldn't have been able to make it to the other bus to get us to the bus station on time. So we wait, and eventually it does show up and we get on, and it's a massive relief. It's practically empty, and the guy's driving, and just like an omen from earlier in the day, when we're like a solid 30, 40, 45 minute walk away from our bus station, we break down. Now, we're not in Blackpool anymore, we're in one of the fringe towns surrounding it, and we're stood there thinking, right, we're no longer in danger, but it's now like 2 AM, and we're stranded in the middle of essentially nowhere. There's no more buses running either, the bus we get was the last bus, so really, you know, our timetabling for the day is fucked. But we stand there and we think, Uber? No, Uber. You think Uber's going to be running around Blackpool at 2 AM? And we thought so too, apparently not. But we sit there with my, you know, power bank and my phone slowly dying on battery. And we cave. We buy ourselves a taxi to the bus station where we eventually get back home just fine. And I think Mini Candy got off first. But it was a massive sigh of relief to have that over with, because there have been train travesties before where we've been delayed by a few hours and things have happened, and none of them have come to the point where me or Ben in the first 4 thought we were in genuine danger, you know, or fucked up that badly as to where we missed a stop. But no, I'm proud to give this one maybe the most entertaining train travesty in the world award, but the most I almost died while filming this award. So, yeah, I think I'll let myself take over, show you all the stuff I brought and my misadventures from the way home. And yeah.
So we are home, so we have to be quiet, but this is a summary of what we got. So we got the power bank, which saved my ass a bit. Got the ticket, can't show anything else because otherwise that will kill me. Probably gonna voice that as well, but ticket. McDonald's Monopoly. Stasher, I guess. Cash I never spent. And a Save the Bees t-shirt. I would show you guys me in it, but no. Okay, my memory went fine, but yes. Save the Bees. This message was unfortunately brought to you by Dan Howell and the End of the World Tour and my cat eating. So yeah, at the end of this one, but I do have one last announcement before I immediately collapse into bed from exhaustion, fear, and a cocktail of why the fuck did I make half these decisions?
I mean, if you wanted to know what they look like, in the merch, there you go. I mean, I did buy a large. I'm aware it's a bit too big. Anyway, there's the spin. I know. It really could be a fashion model if I wanted. Anyway, news. So you're getting one more train travesty this year, and then this series is up in the air for a while. The next one is going to feature me and Ben going to a well-known theme park in the UK at the beginning of November. We're probably out towards the middle of the month, I don't really know. But it'll be good, it'll be a full-length one, presumably nearing 20 minutes like the last few have been. And yeah, hopefully you guys are excited for it. But that though, I don't know if Train Travesty is going to make a comeback. I'm aware that potentially it's overstaying its welcome, because that would be its 6th entry. But even though, if it is going to be making a farewell, we'll make it a good one. I've got some ideas what we can do, like running jokes and stuff. I've got a little notepad document I've been writing stuff that I want to include in Train Travesty, and I've worked through most of it, but I've saved some of the best for last, so keep your eyes open. Once that happens though, I don't know what's happening to Train Travesty. We may make 7. In case you don't know, the reason we stopped filming Train Travesty after 4 was A, I thought it was overstaying its welcome, and B, Ben dropped out of university and is retraining to go into a different course. So basically, it's kind of up in the air. We don't know what Ben is doing, even Ben doesn't know what he's doing, but the general idea is that if they do end up going back to university at some point, or even if we do take like a fancy trip somewhere, the general idea is that we may shoot another Train Travesty here and there. They'll be as a treat, they won't be once a month like they once were. Because maybe I will visit once a month, but this and the filming and the public stuff, it is. My god, you have no idea how awful it is to try to get a nice aesthetic shot and for multiple people to think that you are creepily filming them. So yeah, I'm afraid that's it for now. I'm aware this one's shorter, so I figured I'd throw this as an announcement that yes, one more Train Travesty's happening. But until then, we'll set all aside. I mean, why not leave a like? I'm not actually used to doing these things while I've edited most of the video, but yeah, hopefully you enjoyed. And yeah, 1 like equals 1 year more that I can avoid going into Blackpool in the night again, because, dear God.